Dark Shadows, number 102, VTR 11466, air 111566, take one.
My name is Victoria Winters. The one person at Collinwood I have reason to fear is Roger Collins. He has discovered that I know his guilty secret. And now Roger has discovered me, alone in the house.
I had to do that, so that you couldn't call out for your little friend to come back. Do you understand? If I take my hand away now, will you promise not to scream? It won't do you any good anyway, you know. We're the only ones in this house. Please don't do anything silly, Vicky. You don't honestly think you could escape from me, do you?
What do you want?
You think I killed Bill Malloy, don't you?
I don't think anything.
If you really think that, you must be petrified with fear right now. Because if I killed him, then I would surely have to kill you too, wouldn't I? Vicky, be reasonable. If I'd meant to harm you, I would have already done it. I must talk to you. And I didn't want you to call out and bring that little counter girl back.
What can you possibly say to me?
What I hope you want to hear.
About Bill Malloy?
Yes. They say confession is good for the soul. Well, my soul needs purifying. I want to tell you exactly what happened that night.
What do you expect me to do after you've told me?
Well, that's up for you to decide. All I ask is that you hear the whole story. Agreed?
All right.
As you recall, the last time you came downstairs that night, I was talking on the telephone, and you interrupted.
I remember you were very annoyed.
Because I hadn't yet decided what to do about Malloy. You see, I was talking to him on the telephone when you came in. I had just asked him to meet me at Lookout Point before going to that meeting, and he had agreed.
You made an appointment to meet him there?
Yes. You see, that would have made it look bad for me, wouldn't it? The sheriff would have undoubtedly thought that all of my actions were premeditated.
Weren't they?
All I wanted to do was to talk to Malloy and convince him how wrong he was. That Burke was filling him with a pack of lies.
I see.
You said that I was in this house at 10:30. You were quite right. I left directly after that and went right to Lookout Point.
But you convinced me. You even had me go to the sheriff and said you couldn't have left for another 15 minutes.
Can you blame me? No matter what you think, I did it to protect my sister. She had been through all of that messy court business 10 years ago, and I didn't want to subject her to it again. I didn't think of myself.
And you saw Bill Malloy?
Yes, Vicky. I saw him. I think I'll have another drink. Will you join me?
No.
You see, that's when I lost the pen you found.
Can you hear me, great-great-grandmother? Aren't you going to talk to me? Aren't you going to talk to me tonight the way you usually do? Well, it doesn't matter, because I know you're somewhere around here. I have something very important to tell you. Mr. Malloy was murdered. It wasn't an accident like they tried to make me believe. Miss Winters has evidence that proves to her that it was my father. I heard her telling Miss Evans. Is Mr. Malloy with you now? Because if he is, there's something I'd like you to ask him for me.
Well, my blonde beauty, how did you avoid the castle guards to get here?
Naturally, I just made myself invisible and walked right through them.
I wish you'd teach me that trick.
As a matter of fact, I thought it was going to be difficult there for a minute. My Uncle Roger has radar eyes, you know.
They caught you dropping out of the second-story tower, did he? Huh?
Nothing as exciting as that. He came storming into my room and threatened me with all sorts of things if I kept our date tonight.
How did he find out about it?
David.
My friend, David.
Well, David is such a good friend of yours that he was very mad that I was going to see you tonight, since he's been forbidden to see you. He thinks it's unfair. So he took his case to a higher court. His father.
I can imagine Roger's reaction.
He was furious.
But you batted your beautiful eyelashes and he succumbed to your charms.
Would you?
I surrendered.
Just like that? I thought you'd at least put up a good fight.
Why should I put up a fight when it's so pleasant to surrender?
I wish I knew if you were just teasing me or what.
No. For what reason would I be teasing you?
Oh, it was just a thought I had.
You were surprised about my phone call.
I was absolutely bowled over.
I told you I would.
I know, but... Well, I thought it was something you just say, you know, like, I'll be seeing you.
Well, I am seeing you. And I like what I see.
I like what I see, too.
Good. You know what we're going to do tonight? We're going to make a night of it. We're going to finish our dinner, go to a nice, quiet place, have a few drinks, dance, talk about nothing but ourselves. How does that sound?
It sounds marvelous.
Finish your dinner.
Then we can't forget about the family feud tonight.
What family feud?
We can forget about Uncle Roger.
Roger. Roger. Who's that?
I wish you would come down and talk to me the way you usually do. There's nobody else here, just me. Well, I guess you know best. But I know Mr. Malloy was with you somewhere, wherever you are. Would you please ask him what it was my father did that Miss Winters found out about? I'd ask her myself, but she wouldn't tell me. And if I asked my father, he'd probably kill me like he killed Mr. Malloy. You see, my father might talk Miss Winters out of telling anybody what she knows, but he won't be able to talk me out of it.
Who's in here? No use to hide. I saw lights. We know someone's here. You might as well tell me. Who is it?
It's me, Matthew. David.
You doing here?
I've come to see my friends.
You've got friends here?
Sure, all around me.
I don't see anyone.
Well, they don't let just anybody see them.
What are you talking about?
Josette Collins, the lady in white. And another girl. And there's a younger girl like Miss Winters.
I don't believe in such things.
That's why they don't let you see them. You have to believe.
The only thing I believe is you better get out of here.
I had to come. I had to ask my friends if they'll protect Miss Winters.
Who's trying to hurt her?
The person that killed Mr. Malloy.
What? Mr. Malloy wasn't murdered. He slipped and fell. Everybody knows that.
That's not true. Miss Winters even knows who it was.
How does she know?
I don't know exactly. But she found something that proved to her that Mr. Malloy was murdered. And she knows who it was.
Did she tell you who it was?
She didn't have to tell me. I already knew. It was my father.
Is that what Miss Winters said?
That's what she meant.
Why doesn't she go to the police?
She's probably trying to find out more about it. But I'm afraid he might find out what she knows and try to hurt her.
I wouldn't like to see that happen.
Then you'll help me watch over her.
I'll do what I can. Does anyone else know what Miss Winters knows? Did she tell anyone?
I don't think so. Otherwise, they would have come to arrest my father already. You will help me protect her, won't you, Matthew?
I'll do that.
Good. Then I think I can be going now.
Yeah, I'll go too.
Well, how do you feel? How do you feel about going on the town now?
Right now, I feel ready for just about anything.
Because when I bring you home tonight, your Uncle Roger is not going to take it lightly.
Oh, I don't think we have to worry about Uncle Roger. He's much more concerned about other things right now.
Oh? Like what?
I think he's interested in Vicky. Seriously.
What makes you say that?
Well, he wanted to know where she'd gone this afternoon, just because she had some errand in town. He couldn't even wait for her to come home. Went driving off right after her.
Roger and Vicky, that's an unusual combination.
Not so unusual, really. I guess they're both pretty lonely.
So Roger went looking for her, did he?
Yes, and the funny thing about it was that she was right there in the house. They must have just missed each other.
Why was he so anxious to see her?
You ought to know better than to ask a question like that.
And why was he so upset?
Burke, I thought we were going to forget about Uncle Roger and the rest of the family for tonight.
We are. I just don't want you to get in trouble when I bring you home tonight. Now, you say Roger was pursuing little Miss Muffet, Vicky.
Yes. And it all had to do with that pen you gave me. The one Uncle Roger lost.
What about it?
Well, the minute I mentioned to him that I had told Vicky...
You mentioned to Roger that Vicky knew he lost the pen?
Well, yes. Why not?
Oh, yeah. Quite right. Why not? I forgot. I have a phone call to make, business. I'll be right back.
Please don't be too long.
I won't be.
You saw Bill Malloy before the meeting?
Yes, I saw him. But he didn't see me.
You mean you...
You promised I could tell you the whole story.
Yes.
I left the house and went to a place where the road is nearest to Lookout Point. I got out of the car and walked toward the point. I didn't see Malloy at first. Not until I looked down below. There he was on the beach. I scrambled down as fast as I could, but there was no point in it. You see, Vicky, he was already dead.
He was dead when you got there.
It must have been just as the sheriff and the coroner decided. He had slipped and knocked himself unconscious on a rock and had drowned. The water couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 feet deep.
Why didn't you say anything?
Who would have believed me? I had motive, as they say. And I had the opportunity.
I don't know.
Even you don't believe me.
I didn't say that. It's just so much to take in. Are you sure he was dead?
Quite sure.
Could you tell how long he'd been dead?
As far as I could tell, it must have happened just before I got there. He couldn't have been dead more than 5 minutes.
This is all so new to... I can't quite grasp it.
You thought I killed him, didn't you?
I don't know.
I didn't, Vicky. You must believe that. I did not kill Bill Malloy.
Hello?
Listen very carefully, Vicky. I think you're in great danger. Now, don't interrupt. Pretend you're talking to Maggie Evans. Got that?
Yes, Maggie.
Are you all right?
Yes, I am.
Are you alone right now?
No.
Is Roger with you?
That's right.
And don't do anything to let Roger know. But Carolyn told him that you discovered he was the one that lost the pen at Lookout Point.
Yes, Maggie, that's right.
Now, listen, you find some way to sneak out of that house. You hear me? I'll get rid of Carolyn and send a cab to pick you up at the outer gate. Can you do that?
I'll try. But, Maggie, I think we're making a mistake.
No. Let me do the thinking. Please, Vicky. Do as I say.
All right. Good night, Maggie.
Well, what did Maggie want?
Oh, she, wanted to talk about the portrait of the Hanscom girl.
Oh, that's unimportant. I want to know what you think of what I've just told you.
Roger, I don't know what I think. I'm very confused right now. I think I'd like to sleep on it.
Yes. That would be a good idea. You do that.
Good night.
Good night, Vicky. Sleep well.
Carolyn, you're going to have me drawn and quartered and flung to the lions.
What's the matter?
That was Blair. I have a business meeting in 10 minutes.
I knew it was too good to be true.
Another time? Promise?
I should be furious,
Well, you have every right to be.
but I'm not. Not really. I enjoyed it. Will I really see you again soon?
Unless you deliberately avoid me.
I don't think I could do that, Burke. Would you want me to my car?
Of course.
Dark Shadows is a Dan Curtis production.